Let's check. All right, you're supposed to hear me now. All right. You know what? I constantly forget to switch on this thing. I mute it, and then I forget to switch it on. So forgive me for that. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for forming part of this broadcast today. I see Pastor Denver Olsen is on. My brother, thank you so much for joining. I see many of you guys are connecting. Don't worry, Giovanna. The audio is fixed up now. It's supposed to be fixed up now. Please tell me where you're watching from. Please tell me where you're connecting from. I constantly, you know what? I constantly forget to what you call it again? To switch on the audio. I constantly forget to switch on this audio. It's not the application's fault. It's my fault because I constantly forget to switch on the audio. But thank you for joining. Let's see how many people can join live. I'm doing a lot of stuff because I want to see what works where and how will it work. Please tell me where you're watching from. I see some people are watching all the way from the Parel. Is the sound on right now? Please tell me if the sound is on right now. All right, Giovanna. Giovanna watching from all the way from Germany. Deutschland is in the house. Deutschland. All right, let's share the broadcast. You see, Deutschland is in the house. Deutschland, something like that. And Perl is in the house. And then, so please tell me where you're watching from, and then we can take this further from that position. If you could tell me where you're watching from. Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, I got something before we're going to go into what I want to talk to you guys about today, because it's just going to be like a chat. And half of it is going to be like a rant. I hope it's not going to be too much for people. But I want to talk to you guys today about, I want to give you this statement. Yesterday I was listening to something on YouTube, and this was an amazing statement that a guy, Vusi Tembakwayo, said. He said, somebody was interviewing him, and he said to this guy, you know, where the reason why I am here where I am today is because somebody bet on me. You get what I'm saying? Somebody bet on me. Somebody took a bet on me, and that's why I am here where I am today. That blew my mind, man. When I listened to what that guy said, he said, I am a multimillionaire today because somebody bet on me. You know, I think that's the problem with what we are facing today, is that we are not willing to take bets on each other anymore. I don't know if you guys can agree with me. Pretoria's in the house. I don't know if you guys can connect with me on that. Shirley, Cheryl, Ingrid, Fatima, Elsie Ravi is in the house. And so I haven't done this in a while, where I'm going to talk about politics, finances, current affairs, international affairs, where I'm going to talk about certain things. I haven't done this in a while because I decided to, after the elections, just to focus a little bit with our platforms on the word again and etc. But today, this morning, after a long conversation with Pastor Blanche, I decided, all right, cool, let's go online and let's have a conversation a little bit. Because, look, I've got a lot to say about a lot of stuff. I just don't say it. I don't know if you are also, because many people just want me to preach and to prophesy. They just want me to preach and to prophesy. And this morning I felt like, let me come a little bit online. And I do you think there's a problem with that? Do you think there's a problem with a person that has an opinion about something? And maybe my opinion can help you. And I want us to be nice and interactive. If you want to say something, you can say it in the comments. The comments is right in front of me. I'm looking at your comments right now. Cheryl, good morning. Cheryl Lawrence. Yeah, so I've got an opinion about a lot of stuff, and sometimes people don't want me to give my opinion about it because they say you're a pastor. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Do you guys agree with that? Byron, do you agree with that? And people wants to Watching I Cheryl. Oh, Athlone. Beautiful. The last time I was in Athlone was when we had the big rally with the Patriotic Alliance there. It was beautiful that day. So I want you to share the broadcast with a few people. And if you want to, you can go on YouTube also. There's a YouTube stream running. We're running on Stream Tech page, the Stream Tech page on Facebook. We're running on the Proph Jayj page on Facebook. We're running on another profile of mine, JJ US, the profile on Facebook. And I also shared it to my group, my church group. So I want you to share it also with a few more people, because we're going to have a conversation about some stuff that I believe that if we're not going to talk about it, we are going to get into a place where we are going to be ignorant about what is happening around us. And there is a lot of stuff that is happening around us that we need to give attention to. And we need to talk about it. We need to talk about why they almost killed a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, why there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I know it's old news, but still, why? We need to talk about stuff like Floyd Shivambu that left the EFF and is now a member of MK, deputy president that became a national organizer. The people were making fun yesterday on the comments where they were saying Floyd from the deputy president to door. We need to talk about stuff like the church and its role in politics, and how the church helped the politics, how the church helped in many instances, many parties to get influence and to get votes in the last election. We need to talk about the repercussion of that on the church. And also, we need to talk about you and how, for instance, in the West Coast, we're sitting in the West Coast, and just this morning, Pastor Blanche spoke to me and she said to me, there's about 13, she said to me, this was her specific word. She said to me, you know what, Prophet, it's funny how 6 people in the council controls 600,000 people. How much money, where it goes, how politics is controlling us. And we just want to pray, and we just want to have Sunday service and put our Sunday clothes on. But we need to have a conversation about these things over a cup of coffee. And it's not that I am trying to invoke or provoke anything, but I think, and I may be rambling right now, but I think it is imperative for us to get to the place where we understand what is happening around us. Do you agree? If you agree, just say I agree, or just give me the number 1 if you agree. Quickly. I'm having some nice rooibos tea. So for me, it's sad to see the state that especially the church is in, and the fact that we don't want to take responsibility for our cities and our towns. And we need to come to a place where we need to become part of it. So, good morning, Carmen, all the way from Boxburg. Listen, Carmen, I watched a video of you when you were dancing in the white clothes, and me and my wife were making fun of you the whole night. So when we're gonna come up to Joburg again, we need to teach you how to do that dance. You were like standing right in front, Carmen, and you were like dancing like. Shiloh was also saying, "Hi, Auntie Carmen is dancing." But it's cool, and it's cool. Yeah. So everybody, this morning's program is not a prophetic time program. It's not a program where I'm going to pray. Maybe I'm going to pray for you at the end of the program, because I think that's part of my role. I believe that's part of my role, I think. But I want to talk to you guys about what is happening around us. What is happening around us. I did a study when over the period of time, over the election time. I did a study on the word politics. And just a quick one. The word politics is derived. It's an ancient Greek word. It's derived from a place called Polit or something like that. Hi, Pastor Linda from Mitchell's Plain. And the word politics, we are using it nowadays to speak about parties and to speak about elections and to speak about all these kind of things. But the origins of this word comes actually from a position where when you were a politician, you were an individual in the ancient world. You were an individual that was so much worried about or was concerned about the affairs of your town, your city, your state, your province, or your country, or the world. And that is the origins of that word, where that word comes from, where the word politician comes from. And we, over the years, it has been so the politicians has blackened that whole position so much that nowadays when you hear politics, when you hear politicians, when you hear everything to do with politics, you just want to close your eyes and you just want to go into a room and don't hear. Whenever it comes on, you know, sometimes you have that position about it because it has become not politics, it has become politricks. What is politricks? Is using the popular need. It's using popular culture. It's using popular questions. It's using things in society to get you votes so that you, at the end of the day, can be in power. Politics, if you do a study on it, it's all about power. Now, you that are watching me today, you, wherever you are in the world, some people are watching from Germany, some people are watching from Elsie's Rafir, some people are watching from wherever in the world they are watching from. But one thing we all have in common, and this is what we have in common: politics and politicians. We all are controlled by a government. We all are controlled by policies. We all are controlled by laws. We all are controlled by certain things. And the ones that you put in power has the power to control you, to empower you, or to disempower you. Are you with me this morning? Take some of your code. The ones that you've put in power, you have given your voice to people. Look, in our local government here, I don't know how many people are there. I think there's about 13 people. They make decisions. They sit around the table where money goes, where money don't go, where job opportunities go, where job opportunities don't go. If, God forbids, they go in there with a negative agenda, with an ungodly agenda, then we, the people, you, me, that is living in this local place, local space here, we are going to eat the fruit of their decisions. And so we just came out of an election. We just had some time to vote people in or vote people out. And what did we do? This election was not like the other elections. It was an election where nobody got an outright majority, where people said to the politicians, it's time that you guys work together. And it's important that you need to understand, I voted and I put people in power that I believed that stood for my that had the same kind of mindset about, good morning, Petal, that had the same kind of mindset about, yes, Lionel, he said it's about power. But it's not just about power. Politics is not just about power. Politics is about power, but politics is about people. It is about how can you use the state's resources, how can you manage the resources, the monies, the taxes, the whatsoever, to further the people, to empower the people. We are right now sitting in a state that for 30 plus years was ransacked by the previous regime and the previous politicians that was in charge. We are in a place right now that it could have been so much worse. However, we are better off than, I believe that we are better off than before the election. There's at least saam zijn, working together, mense wat saam wil werk, a so-called government of national unity, which it isn't actually, but okay, we give it to them. It's a government of national unity. What I want to come to, and I'm talking a lot, what I want to come to, I want to bring this to you, and I want you to understand that whatever you have right now, where you work, what you drive, where you sleep tonight, is a direct result of the ones that you have voted in. Now, the funny thing is, all over the world, when people were oppressed, there was an oppressor and there were people and there were oppressees. There were people that were oppressed. And whenever there was a change or revolution and the people would overcome this oppressor, they would destroy and they would take over everything except our country, especially Cape Town. Cape Town is very particular because Cape Town is the only area. It's like, I can almost say it's the only place in the world where at the birth of freedom, when we could vote, the ones that were oppressed put again the oppressors in charge. It's very important to note that. It's very important to note that. Maybe this platform is also going to become like a platform where we can train and we can encourage you, and we can also, this specific show where we can train you, we can develop your mindset about what is happening around you. There is some people that goes into a council meeting with an already set agenda to empower a certain group of people. And then the reason why there's a council meeting or a National Assembly meeting is to debate and is also to manage this concern. But at the end of the day, if we are not trained to do that, the status quo will just continue like it has been continuing for 30 years. How many of you can right now say that you are a multi-millionaire? None of you. Maybe some, but none of you can say that. The role of government is to create security, job security, better economy, is to create all these kind of things. But it did not create it because there was a other agenda. Now, I want to say this to you. And some of my people that are watching me as Proph Jayj, and I prophesy over you, is also online. Thank you, Zinkle, for coming. I want to say this to you this morning. I want to say to you, this is like a current affairs program, that when the political landscape in a country changes, there is a few stages that it goes through. Right now, the political landscape has changed in South Africa. New people are in charge. The first stage will be, we are happy, we are exuberant, we won. The second stage will be where there will be a settlement happening, where these people that are now put in charge will start to settle in their positions. And then the third stage will be where they now start to see what has happened when they were not in position, when they were not running the specific ministry or the specific position. And therefore, many times when people are having a country and they did a lot of nonsense, corruption, they don't want change to happen. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this is because we are right now finding ourselves in a place where our country, South Africa, and also the world, I'm going to talk a little bit later about the world, where our country, South Africa, is finding itself in that position where different ministries, like the Ministry of Sport, Brigade McKenzie, I follow that very strong, very closely. He came in, he saw a lot of stuff was wrong, and right now he's in a position where he needs to change things. And so we need to give those individuals that have been put in charge the opportunity now to correct the things that was done in their absence when they were not there. We cannot expect of them to just now fix everything and to be everywhere. Like Mackenzie, like Peter Dem, like all these other guys that are in the government running it. We are 50 million South Africans, but we are ran by 300 and something parliamentarians. 300 people sit in that parliament and they control what we are going to have to eat literally tonight. Because if they make wrong decisions, then we're going to be like a Syria, we're going to be like a Iran, we're going to be like all these other countries that is in a consistent state of war. Therefore, you need to know who you vote for. You need to know what you are voting for. You need to know, number one, who you vote for, what you are voting for. It mustn't just be the guy with the best speech. You must look in the next elections. You must look in the next position. The individual that really stands up for you, for your values. Now, what happened this week was important. In the last 2 weeks was important. There was a guy by the name of Floyd Shivambu. He was part of a opposition political affiliation called the Economic Freedom Fighters. He was a founder member of the Economic Freedom Fighters. Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema, the infamous Julius Malema, founded the party about 13 years plus minus back. Founded this party, and when they founded this party, this happened. They then started to mobilize, build it. They wanted it to be a right-wing party that is totally standing in opposition against capitalism. They believe in communism, in Stalinism, in Marxism, all these other things. They believe in it. So this week, something crazy happened. Or last week. The co-founder of the Economic Freedom Fighters decided to jump ship. And he decided to become part of another party called Mkhonto weSizwe, MKP, which is ran by the other infamous Jacob Zuma, Msholozi. Why is this important for us to understand? Because in the government right now, there's two oppositions. There's two opposite parts. There is the Government of National Unity, which is all the ANC, DA, PA, some parties, they have formed together a Government of National Unity. And then there is the Progressive Bloc. They call themselves the Progressive Bloc of parties. MK, EFF, NCC, ATM, all these guys, they're standing in opposition. And they are literally in policies, in thinking processes, in whatever economic mindset, economic macro, microeconomic decisions, they are in opposition against each other. For instance, this bloc, the MK bloc, believes in the land must be taken without compensation. This bloc believes that free buyer, you must have a willing seller, willing buyer. This land, this group, the MK group, wants to take the land. This group wants to sell the land to whoever can afford the land. These are two opposite positions that these people are fighting against. Now, the crazy thing that happened in this block, there is now turmoil. When Floyd Shivambu jumped ship, and went to the MK, he created an internal fight in the opposition bloc, which can be good for this bloc, But on the flip side, it can be bad also, and we're going to probably talk a little bit later about that. So Floyd Shivambu said that he jumped ship because he feels that MKP, Mkhonto Sizwe Party, is a better vehicle for him to do what he feels he needs to do as a politician. This group of people on the other side is happy because there is now total turmoil in this position, because MK and the EFF is fighting against each other because of the betrayal that Floyd Shivambu did. Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema were like this. You remember how Driekus du Plessis made Isa Adesanya to tapped out like a cook sister? They were like this. That is how they were. Suddenly, Floyd betrays Julius. Now, many people, I've read the stuff, many people are saying, nah, this is not true, Prophet. These guys are going to make up and what. But let me tell you, this is really not something that you must play with. This is deep. Because the thing is this, Julius really trusted him. Julius really believed that Floyd would die. This would be an end of the story. They would die together in this movement. What will be the repercussions of this thing? The repercussions of the Floyd Shivambu situation will be the following. Number one, I'm sounding very, very particular right now. It will, number one, in the short term, it will create a pocket of, it will create a moment in the short term. Short term means in the next 6 months, up to next year, say mid next year, it will create a pocket for the opposition parties to now point out the negatives about the MKP and EFF bloc. It will also create turmoil in those other two parties in the political space in our country, where you will also see sometimes that they will even try to fight each other whatsoever. Because Julius came about a few days ago, and Julius just basically put a rant on him and speak about betrayals and stuff like that. So there will be a lot of turmoil in the short term. Eventually they will self-correct. The whole thing after about the short term, medium term, they will self-correct. And when they self-correct, this other group, which is literally running the country, will need to have all their act together. Because when they will self-correct, they will form a greater pact. And 2026, we will see the whole country. The ANC needs to really look at this and say, now we need to use this moment. Now we need to use this moment to build our structures again, to bring trust back again. Because when they self-correct, when MKP and EFF self-correct, then they will become a brotherhood again. And 2026 is around the corner, where it's going to be local elections in South Africa. Then the idea of MKP, Mkhonto Sizwe, is to take 75% plus of the local municipalities that the ANC is running. And if that happens, we in South Africa is going to sit with stalemates all over the country, because the Mkhonto Sizwe Party and the EFF has a communistic, socialistic mentality, economic mindset, everything. So if they take councils, then there will be consistent stalemates. They will not be able, budgets will not be able to be confirmed and to be approved. Things will not run as smoothly or kind of smoothly like we are seeing it now. So what happened today, what happened in the last 2 weeks, is going to become a big problem for the country in the next 2 years. in the intermediate period of time. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to go and get a lot of food, put it in the corner. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Don't go get a lot of blikkies kos and stick it weg because it's going to be... No, it's not going to be as crazy as that. What you are supposed to do, number one, you are supposed to, right now, if you are part of the more capitalistic side of this whole entire thing, because people must understand what the EFF and what MK is saying. They are saying that the land, because this is the big thing that they are fighting for. They said the land is still in the control of the white people, for lack of a better word. You guys can comment if you guys want to say something. If I'm talking a lot of rubbish, please tell me I'm talking a lot of rubbish. So what they're saying we need to get the land back. But what they don't know, or what they omit out of that statement, is the following: is that although the white minority has a lot of land, the white minority does not own the maximum amount of land in the country. The maximum amount of land is owned by the state. And so what you must hear, and this is the other thing that they're saying. They're saying that we need to go and take the land and don't compensate. And then on top of it, they're saying, if we take the land, we need to make policies to say that nobody can own land but the state. And so that means that you won't be able to leave your children a legacy of this is your farm, or this is what they are saying. This is what that grouping is saying. The thing with me is, I want to leave for Shiloh a piece of land. I want to have property. I want to be able to manage my finance. I want to have freedom. Now, capitalism is not totally fair and free, but it gives you the ability to create wealth for yourself. This morning, I may be just talking a lot, but I want you to understand. I want to educate you today so that you can understand where we are finding ourselves in. We're finding ourselves in a space that if we're going to allow this narratives just to go on, and without being educated about this, and forming an opinion about it, and then going and voting and managing politically our lives according to that opinion, we are going to get to a place where it will be too late. Nee, ek praat julle nie bang nie. I was on the road with President Gayton McKenzie, doing his campaigning, and he would go and have church meetings all over the place. Literal church meetings. Then he would come and then he would talk. What I saw about that, because this is the first thing I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring out the implication of the Floyd Shivambu situation. What it will mean in the short term. In the medium term, then they will, after they self-correct, they will take a lot of counsels, and then there will be a stalemate. In the long term, it will bring the country to a place where foreign investment and even the local economy will not be as so secure like it is maybe even right now. That is what this position has brought us into the position, because what Floyd says, he wants to go and want to create structures for MKP. And they put him in place as national organizer to go and do that. So they are on their way to develop the structures, and they want to take over the country. They want to get 2/3 majority by 2029 when it's voted 2/3 majority, so that they can change the constitution, so that the things that I just talked about can come into realization. Now, let's go a little bit further. Let's connect the church with this whole entire thing. When Gayton McKenzie did his presidential campaign, it came as a result. It started like this. They were planning to do the presidential campaign in a normal presidential campaign way, like all the other parties did. However, this is a little bit of backdrop. However, what happened was, Jocelyn, ek sal nooit met daai man sing, Graham. singing. If you guys can give me 10,000 likes, 10,000 followers on my page, maybe I can go and have a duet with them. But for now, I'm not gonna sing. But let's get back to the program, man. Julle moet nou week met sing. So by the way, if you want to, you can download my single For You Alone. And I wanted to tomorrow's my birthday. I wanted to bring out the full CD tomorrow, but I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna keep it a little bit back. So this is what I wanted to say. So Gayton McKenzie did his presidential campaign. He had church meetings all over the country. Church. And then the people would come, they would sit, they would get a word, and then they would get a word from him, and then the people went out and they voted. And President Gayton McKenzie, got a lot of people to follow him. He got a lot of votes due to, it was a very unprecedented way of doing campaigning. But he brought it in. And people were laughing at him, but at the end of the day, it produced proper results. Right now, it produced proper results. So, why am I saying this is because I want you to understand that the Church of God, the church, is the only legitimate agency, according to me, my opinion. Because I'm a pastor, I'm a prophet, I'm a man of God, I've got a church, I've got an itinerant ministry, and I'm a believer. In my mindset, the church is the only legitimate agency that God has given the right to manage the earth's issues and problems. Why am I saying this? When Gayton McKenzie took time to utilize the church and the churches, it was a brilliant strategy. But where did it start? It started in a little town called Saldanha Bay. You know what happened? A small little girl got lost. Up until today, we don't know where she is. We did everything to find her, but we couldn't find her. We're still praying to God that one day we will get answers about Jocelyn Smith. But what happened? There was a day that me and Umbiza, as his souls, we sat together. We drove to Malmesbury. We had a deep conversation. And God convinced us to have a prayer walk in the city of Saldanha Bay for Jocelyn. But he said to me, you go home, if God speaks to you, you come live and you announce it, and if God speaks to me. And that specific night, both of us individually went on and we announced it, and we had the prayer walk. We walked for 7 days, all around Saldanha Bay in the streets. We prayed every night. Nobody paid us to do it. Nobody even, we took our own time, our own petrol, and we just prayed in the streets of Saldanha as the Church of God. Now, I want you to understand the power of the church. The power of the church. The power of the church. After we prayed, on the 7th day, we had a very big meeting. And this wasn't to rally support for any party. It was to rally support for the cause, Jocelyn Smith cause. After that, we rallied the whole entire town in prayer. We took them to the biggest hall in the city on the 7th day. We invited President McKenzie to come and join us because he was one of the main individuals that was looking that time for Jocelyn. He came, and that night we could see the power of the church. The reason why we are struggling and why we are not as a country where we are supposed to be, because the church has not been given its rightful place, but also the church are not taking its rightful place. And so President McKenzie saw that, and as an astute strategist that he is, he saw this and he said, let's try this on the road. He took it on the road, and it flabbergasted people. It made them to think, what now? How now? It made them to think, what now? How now? What I want to end with today is the following, is to say that our country is between two poles. Our country is between two poles right now. And if we're not going to utilize God's capacity, God's voices and God's people, then we are going to become another secular state that is going to be ransacked. It's going to be stuff is going to be stolen from us, our monies. We're going to be another poor third world country. South Africa is South Africa, and South Africa got so wealthy because we are a God-loving nation. We believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We believe in Jesus. That is the difference. And if you're going to come on this platform and you're going to hear me speak, that is my position. That is my position, that I'm going to try to bring things towards you. In the days of the prophets, you know, the prophets was the ones that was helping the kings to make policy for the nations. Elijah, Elisha, Nathan. The kings would go to the prophets, to the church, but the church messed it up because they got corrupted with greed. And until we're going to get to the place again, we're going to see these great opposites come together and overthrow us. For 30 years, the ANC has governed. We really believe they could do it. But the moment they kick the church out, I want to say to political parties watching me right now, the moment you're going to try to make this thing about you and about how you can do things, you're going to lose your power. Because that's what we saw. Never neglect. There's a pattern that God works. God puts you in power, and you must listen to what God says there. Always remember that. So, to end off, we are in a position right now where when I come live again, I'm going to talk to you about the power of money and how money can make you or money can break you. But this is whenever I'm going to have this program, Let's Talk. The church, God used the church to put many a men of God in power. In America right now, there is a fight between two opposites again. The Democrats and the Republicans. The Democratic Party in America is an ungodly group of people. They believe in all kinds of ungodly stuff. Yes, Stan. Yes, so true. So what I'm trying to say to you this morning is to understand, when we want to have power through politics, we can only have power through politics if we honor the one that gives power. And if God puts you in a place of power, don't think it is because of you. The Bible says, there was this woman by the name of Esther. And Mordecai comes to her and Mordecai says, you are now in power. You were born for a time such as this. And there's many men of God, women of God, that God has put in power now, or that God is going to put in power. If you're going to utilize the power that God has given you, please understand the following. God places you there not because of the agenda of your party, but because of His agenda first. It's first God's agenda, then it is your party's agenda. It's not the other way around. Maybe this is a warning also for some people, because some people, when they get in power, I've seen it, man. I've seen it with men of God. They get in power, they get elected to become an official, and then they forget about God. They forget about God. They forget about God's people. They forget about God's purposes. They forget about God. And woe to you that has forgotten about God. I've seen it, man. I've seen how people are now on a slippery slope. And they have to sell their souls. They are selling their souls because they want to stay in that power. They must understand, they never received that power because of the hand of man. They received it because of the hand of God. So I'm going to go right now. Love you. Thank you so much for joining me on Let's Talk with Proph Jayj. Current affairs. When I come up again, maybe I'm going to do this on a Friday. We will have talk. We will have people coming to sit here and stuff like that. This was just a conversation about what happened. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to know what it was all about, please go and listen to the whole entire thing on YouTube and on Facebook. Love you guys so much. Have an awesome day further. And believe me, God has got a plan and a purpose with your life. I'm going to pray for you quickly. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, right now, I pray for everybody that is watching me live, that is connected to this broadcast, that is connected to wherever they are watching from. I pray, God, that you will cover them, you will protect them. Lord, set them free from every sinful thing that is bothering them. Lord, tonight, this morning, I even want to give them an opportunity to give their lives to Jesus. Right now, if you haven't given your life yet to Jesus, and if you feel like you want to change your walk, I want to give this opportunity for you. Just say after me, Father, today I come. I receive your Son, Jesus, as my personal Savior. And I come right now, and I give my life to him in public. I will serve him. I will follow him. And I come in the name of Jesus. And I preach in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen. If you did that right now, you are a born-again believer. Everything we must do, it must be for the glory of God. So, what did I talk about today? I talked about a lot of stuff. I talked about politics. I talked about power. But one thing that I want to leave you with is that we need to become our brother's keeper. We need to bet on each other again. Vusi Tembukwayo said this. He said, afternoon, Pastor Mavis. Vusi Tembukwayo said this. Vusi said, I am this millionaire Vusi Tembukwayo because somebody decided to bet on Vusi. Somebody decided to bet on Vusi. You must learn to bet on your fellow brother. Bet on him. Man. Take a bet on him. Take a chance with somebody. And you will see God is going to bless you. Another great man of God said the following. He said, we can become the reason why somebody doesn't have to pay a 25-year bond. When you buy a house for somebody, or today when you give a car to somebody, bless somebody with something. When you bless somebody, you bless him not just with that specific thing, but you have just blessed him with time. You just blessed him with time. Some people, if you give a person a house, you blessed him with 25 years of bond repayments. If you give a guy a car, you blessed him with 54 months of car repayments. And I want you to understand, here's the Indruk, just go and watch the full thing. If you are going to become a blesser, God is going to become if you're going to become a blessing, God is going to become your blesser. Listen to what I'm saying. You must become a blessing so that God can really see how to bless you. Bless you so much today. Love you. Have an awesome day further. My name is Proph Jayj. And please don't forget, please watch us. Tomorrow's my birthday. I need some birthday wishes. Love you and some birthday presents. Have an awesome day further. Please do yourself a favor and go and watch the entire broadcast from the front to the back on YouTube and Facebook. And please, while you are there, please share the broadcast. And also, if you want to sow a seed, there is banking account details right here. Right now, I'm going to leave it right here. There's banking account details. Please sow a seed if you feel comfortable to support the work that we are doing, because this is literally, I'm sitting in the studio at my house that we created and we built and stuff like that. Please make sure that you can sow a seed, and to help us to go further, just take a picture of that and do what you need to do. Lastly but not least, love you. Have an awesome day. Sunday we have church service. Tomorrow's my birthday. I need presents and I need happy birthdays. Love you. Have an awesome day further.
meditating.